Hello all you Pixel people, I am Pixel and welcome to another Pixels Perspective. In this episode I would like to give you guys my perspective on really long betas, and I'm going to be focusing mainly on Firefall. You can see the gameplay in the background right now. Firefall is a MMO FPS and it's been in closed beta since the 2nd of September 2011 I believe. It entered open beta in July 2013, and as of now, March the 9th 2014, it is still in open beta. And that means if it doesn't get fully released by September this year, it's going to have been 3 years in beta, which is an extremely long time for any game really. I mean, many games have a development cycle from start to finish which is less than 3 years. And what I want to actually really focus on is why this is bad for the gamer and the developer slash publisher of these games. And it's not as simple as what some people may think, because Firefall is a free-to-play game, so you don't actually have to spend a penny. And all the way through its development, you've been able to get in basically for free if you looked for a key earlier on, and now if you just sign up for an account. Which is cool, right? You get to play this game, which is still in development, and you don't have to pay a penny. You see what I'm saying? That's actually a really cool thing on the surface. I'd just like to point out that I'm not actually going to be talking about stuff which is like early access in this video, because early access is a whole different kettle of fish. It is so different with the whole idea that you have to make a financial transaction before you can get into the game, where with Firefall, you don't. But is that a positive or is it a negative? Are long betas a positive or are long betas a negative? Well, I'll start off with what is really important here, because Firefall has improved drastically from the very early closed betas that people have played. I mean, I haven't played Firefall now for around 6 months, and I jumped into it again recently, and I have to be completely honest, this is the best build of Firefall that I have played to date. Which means that the beta stage is working, right? It's getting better, it's improving all the time. The issue is, back in 2010 when the game was announced, there was so much hype around Firefall. It was going to be the next big MMO, it was going to be something different, something fresh. It was almost like Team Fortress in MMO format in a massive world, which you can see by the graphics, guys. It's a beautiful game. And there was so much hype and so much anticipation about it. And like, when it even went into closed beta, there was so much hype and anticipation. People were begging to get their hands on these keys. But now, you can just go and play it. It's still in open beta. But there's not that much of a community around it. And I honestly believe that the main reason for the drop-off in interest is not because the game is not good, because honestly, the game is great. It is simply because people lose interest, and what I'm really scared of happening is something which has happened to a few games that I've been very excited for in the past, such as Shootmania Storm, PlanetSide 2, Tribes Ascend, Path of Exile. Path of Exile didn't do as badly in all fairness, but Tribes Ascend especially is a good example, and so is Shootmania and PlanetSide 2, where you can get into the game so early and you're not playing the best build of the game. Obviously it's still in beta, so a lot of things are being improved over time. They're slowly getting better. Some things get massively reworked and changed drastically, like has happened with Firefall. So you're not playing what the game is promising you when it first gets announced. You're not playing that pinnacle experience that we all desire. We're actually just playing, well, what it's called, a beta. So what we do is we get the beta, we jump onto it, and we play for copious amounts of time, often far too long. I've probably clocked in hundreds of hours on Firefall, hundreds of hours on Tribes Ascend, hundreds of hours on Blacklight Retribution, hundreds of hours on Shootmania Storm, all while they were still in development technically. And since their release, I've hardly played anything. Because what you'll notice, if you was actually somebody that was in the early PlanetSide 2 beta, for instance, what happened is they had this release date far in the future, and we were seeing these improvements, and we was getting up there, and we was excited for the launch. Loads of new players were going to jump in, and blah 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 blah. And then what happened? We got up to the date of release. The game technically released, i.e. they removed the beta from the loading screen effectively. and nothing changed. There was no explosion, there was no rush to get onto servers. PlanetSide 2 did, I mean, there was lots of people trying to get onto the servers, but it still doesn't have the same impact as it does when people are biting to get into it. I mean, a good example right now today of a beta which I think is done correctly, as much as it frustrates me because I want to play this game so much, is WildStar. I want to be playing WildStar right now, but I cannot, and I know that it's going to be released soon, and I am excited. And I can honestly say I have never been excited for a game's release when I've had access to an open beta. And in fact, I hate to admit this because I don't want people to change the way things work, but I have never bought a game based on its beta, but I have not bought a game based on its beta. For instance, if I don't like a game when I play it in open beta, I will not buy it, or I will enjoy a game while I'm playing in open beta, but because I've played so much of it already, when the game releases for money, I've got what I wanted. I've finished what I needed to do, I've enjoyed it, and I'm past that. Not only that, it kind of instills this kind of mentality where you think to yourself, well, I've been playing this for hundreds of hours and I've never had to pay a penny, so it's not worth $30–40 to me anymore, so it just gets swept under the rug and ignored. There's been so many examples recently of games which have been hanging around in development for so long and then released to a whimper, to be honest, a little whimper. There's no big fanfare like there is with some modern AAA releases which still do leave you biting at the hilt for more. And I think that's a real shame. I think it's a real shame. And a lot of people think that I'm making this more than what it seems because, well, they're not paying anything, they're not wasting anything, they're not losing any money, but just think about the game that you could have been playing, guys. Think about the experience you could have had if the developers released the game complete. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on, do you think that long betas are a good or a bad idea? This video has been a little bit random, to be honest, but I can honestly assure you that I'm frustrated when betas go on this long, because Firefall is an awesome game that I definitely recommend that you should go and install right now and play, which is ironic because I'm just saying that you shouldn't do this. It's crazy. But this is the current gaming climate that we are living in, so that's all I've got to say today, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to slap that subscribe button for some more PC gaming goodness, and as always, like the video if you like the video. I am Pixel. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.